library.
Oh, that's not a library. That's a display case. Do you know what all these books have in common, Stu?
I do. You're their
Okay.
coach. That's like what I do here behind me. I mean, these
Right.
are my students send me this stuff.
Right. So
Yeah.
all of these are books that were written by our students using our methods, our tools, and it is a tiny, teeny, tiny fraction of the folks that we have helped. That
Nice.
these are just a teeny, teeny, tiny, tiny, tiny fraction. We even have a book here by one of our students,
Yeah, there you go.
by Mr. Stu Smith. That's actually not the first one you ever did.
No,
The
that's way up there.
yeah, that was the PT test mistake, or PT test emergency survival guide.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah, and it was a
Military
bestseller.
military
And
fitness test survival guide. Yes.
yeah, and that was your very first bestseller on Amazon.
Number one
And you
bestseller.
can't, and that's how why you can put number one selling fitness author on everything, and you can't remember the name of the damn book you did it with. He's
I
got so
can't.
many. How many
I
books you
can't.
got now?
Over 40.
Yeah. So
I have
speaking,
13 published, but I have about 27 unpublished that are self-published, I should say.
well, yeah, those are published. If you've sold them and that they're available, they are definitely
They
published.
make
They're
more
just not.
money than my published ones, put it that way.
Oh, let's talk about that for a second,
Yeah.
just for grins, because we're right in the middle of the what's up, Ann? What's up, Brad? What's up, Mary? We're right in the middle of the writeyurbook.ai challenge again. Um, say that again. You make more money with what?
With my self-published ones than my published ones.
Why is that, do you think?
Well, I think just the evolution of book sales over the last 20 years. Whenever I started this writing journey, I had a publisher, luckily. And,
Mhm.
it was nice to have books in bookstores and then this Amazon thing popped up selling books. And that was, hey, that's pretty cool. But then I realized there were some books that no publishers wanted to publish, like the Army PFT workout book, right? Nobody wanted to do that one. So I was like, I'll do it myself. And so I started creating answers to people's problems about specific fitness tests for all fitness tests that are available
Right.
out there. And with a little research, I found out there's about 35 different fitness tests in the United States alone. So that's why I have over 40 books.
Do you have an FBI
I do.
book?
I do. I
That was in
don't
the
think I
news.
have.
That was in the news yesterday. That apparently they're going to make everybody
Yep.
conform to the same standards now, regardless of age, weight, sex, creed, national origin, familial status, or whatever. Apparently, everyone has to be able to do a pull up if they want to run around with a gun and chase bad guys.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yep.
that's a good thing or a bad thing?
It's never a bad thing. Never a
Never a
bad thing
bad
to
thing.
require pull ups.
Okay.
Because here's the problem with pull ups
Mm-hmm.
is if you can't do them, you just haven't practiced them. Everybody can do a pull up if you practice
Right.
and you build yourself up to it.
Okay. Yeah,
Men and
well,
women.
yeah. Well, if you practice also not eating so much that
Not
you
being
can't.
heavy helps.
Yes, there you go. There are little tricks that I've learned along the way with that too,
Yes.
with your help. You mentioned something about problems, answering problems. You mean to tell me that you built an entire business around writing books about solving people's problems?
That's it.
Okay. So
They,
you mean to tell me that people pay to solve their problems?
they will pay you to solve their problem. I promise you.
And do they pay more if the problem is more severe, or do they pay less?
Well, I guess they would pay more.
What if the problem's linked to their ability to make money, get a job, keep a job, or land their dream job? Will they pay more attention, pay more money?
I would hope so,
So you,
especially if you have a system that's going to help them.
well, so you mean to tell me that if we focus on people's problems that are directly connected to their ability to make money, save money, that are directly connected to their ability to save time or not waste time. And I need to work on my lighting a little bit. And you mean to tell me that if we can solve their problems around effort, if we can solve their problems about feeling more loved or feeling more popular, and that if those are very intense as far as problems go, that they will actually pay us more money to help them solve their problems? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that looks very similar, by the way, to copywriting sequence, page 16.
16, that's right.
Why people buy.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty universal. It's this, and notice what I didn't mention in here, AI or ChatGPT or anything like that. This is people understanding people. And now there are some things you can do with this, and we're going to be talking about this in the genie hacking session after this about how to launch a quick 5-day sprint, or excuse me, not a 5-day sprint, a 5-day flash sale is what we're going to be talking about. Speaking of sales and bundles and other stuff like that, about a week and a half ago, over the last week, you've had some challenges over the last week and a half,
Yeah.
so we kind of got off track with something that started actually, I guess, 2 weeks ago. We did a talk about sales and bundles and other stuff like that. What kind of happened with that bundle you did? Anything
I finished the
good?
bundle and
Okay.
actually had my first purchaser of the bundle.
Okay.
So we're into one. It has already
Okay.
made money.
Okay. Well, but I mean, did you really promote it as much as you wanted
No,
to be
I've
able
I've been
to,
in,
or
I've
just
been
kind of the
battling
ball?
the COVID in the house, and
Right.
it was a back burner item. Right before I started feeling poorly, I sent the first email out letting people know that it's available.
Okay.
And I haven't been able to send anything else out, but
Fantastic. You know
but
why I'm excited about that?
because I saw
Because
your newsletter today, and it gave me a great idea to finish up that little project.
okay. What's up, Michelle?
It's
What's
a
up, Mary?
five
Uh,
sequence email.
right. Well, we're gonna convert that into a flash sale on Genie Hacking today. That's going to be the case study because you've already got the stuff done.
Okay.
Therefore, it shall make my life much easier.
Oh,
Well
cool.
done, Stu. Cool. And okay, so today, what would you like to talk about, Stu?
Hmm. Well, Jim, I would say my go-to right now is I'm playing catch up.
Okay.
Playing catch up after doing a few days to several days to a week actually of kind of minimum standard effort
Mm-hmm.
into work. Now I'm playing a little catch up, um, getting back into the marketing process and getting newsletters out and emails out and posts on social media. So now I'm a little bit more invigorated to do that. So that's
Okay.
kind of what I'm focusing on right now. Um, but I think it's also nice to have like this little minimum daily standard that you can get things done when you just don't feel like getting things done, or when life gets in the way and you spend it at the hospital and with doctors and things like that. So that is been my last 10 days. So that's kind of what I have in my mind. So
And
do we need to talk about that? No, we don't need to talk about that. But I am in kind of like reinvigorated marketing mode.
okay.
Like I'm not in a mode to write another book like you are right now coaching your writing system. I'm in the mood of selling all my old books that I've been writing for the last year or two and bundles, creating value.
So one of the things that really sells something like what you're talking about there really well is a story, and telling the story of the thing that you are creating or the thing that you created, which is something that I think really, because AI can make everything so quote unquote easy to just like slam out ads and slam out all this other stuff. I think we lose sight of the basic stuff that we can always do. Like even just telling the story of why you decided to bundle up all the stuff that you did for that sale. Do you and it's not because Jim made me or put me on the spot on a Wednesday. You got to have a better story than that. And so one of the things that what I'd love to do is show you how we could actually use the 6C Story Genie to write a story that would help support your sale. Does that sound
Hmm.
cool?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, let me just real quick on that topic.
Uh-huh.
Something I did the other day in an article, and I posted it out through all my social media and newsletters and stuff, was an article about coaching. And
Okay.
I got the idea because you were coaching me to create a bundle.
Okay.
And, it was part of that process of like, I really didn't want to talk about it with you, but I decided I did anyway. So it was almost like this accountability factor that you were allowing me to share what I needed to work on. And that brought clarity to what I needed to move on and how to do it. Right. So it was an article about coaching and
Okay.
accountability
Okay.
and
As
why
opposed
we
to
need it.
bullying somebody to into doing
Right.
something.
That's what. Yeah. I joke around with that, but it really was accountability and coaching that you offered.
Uh-huh.
That what I did is I wrote this story about myself and having to realize that I needed to give you feedback as to how things are going, how things are selling, and you had an answer for me to how to sell it better. So from there, I talked about coaching and the coaching programs that I offer.
Hmm.
So it turned into this little story about coaching that I said, oh, by the way, I do some coaching too. We
Right.
all need coaching.
Right.
So it kind of took the little sting away from people thinking, I don't need any coaching. We all need coaching.
Well, it's kind of like the product of the product. When I spoke at John Maxwell a couple, 3 weeks ago, I was teaching about offers. So I said, I can't authentically teach you about offers without making you an offer, of course.
Yeah, there
And,
you go.
that was fun, but that, again, took kind of oh yeah, yeah, he's got it. Let's see what he's got, that kind of a thing. And so integrating your own self into the mix, your story. It was basically what you did was integrate the story of why you were doing what you were doing.
Yes.
Um, and I think that that would be a fun thing to do, actually. Um, so let's just tell the story. Now, was that telling the story of the bundle thing, or you were doing the coaching thing, or?
I let me see. It's amazing my brain in the last week.
It's okay.
Um, let's see. Yeah, I called you like my business coach
Okay.
and whom I value. And I thought maybe I should just skip this week on telling them what's going on. Haven't really made the progress I wanted. Wouldn't it be easier just to avoid the uncomfortable conversation altogether? And then I just say, you know, with that mindset, I joined the call and Even though it was uncomfortable, coach listened, offered perspective, helped me reframe it. I kind of spoke in generalities
I got you.
about it. And then, far from leaving me discouraged, the conversation reignited my sense of urgency, and I left grateful that I hadn't skipped out on that accountability, reminded me once more of its irreplaceable value.
Okay.
So, the big article was like why accountability matters
Okay.
when it's uncomfortable.
So what I want to do is tell a story about mindset and how you've been teaching mindset for 30 years and it never occurred to you until recently to take those lessons and turn them into a course, and it blossomed from a book into a course into a coaching program.
Yes.
That's the story that I want to tell. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so here we go. Here we are at the 6C Story Genie. And so I just want you to tell me the story about how you've been teaching mindset for years. You've taught it to, just kind of blather at me and I'll repeat it.
Yeah, for 25 plus years, I've been coaching people to improve physically
For 25 plus years, I've been coaching people to improve physically
and get through some of the hardest training in the world.
and get through some of the hardest military training in the world.
But I never focused on the mental toughness aspect.
But I never focused on the mental toughness aspect of it as far as coaching or in my books, products, and training. It was always kind of either baked in or an afterthought that I took for granted.
Very good. You kind of took my words from me. Um, however, after recent events of
However,
training
after recent events of training
special ops clients, I realized I
special ops
had
clients, I realized I had
a library of mental toughness training tips
a library of mental toughness training tips.
that I should share in writing.
I realized that I had a library of mental toughness tips that I needed to share. For some reason, the dictation thing, when we were pausing, after a minute, it turns off.
Ah.
Okay.
But anyway, that's the theme. Um,
Okay.
if you have any others, but I think that's pretty solid.
So recently, I decided that I was going to take that library and turn it into a book. I didn't have much as far as expectation. I just felt a pull to be able to share it with people and really boil this down. So I turned it into a book, launched it out to my list with a soft launch. And to be honest, the results shocked me. I had people immediately contacting me and saying it should be required reading. They were making their grandkids read it, they were making themselves read it. And so, at the urging of my friend, I turned it into a course. And this was one of the higher ticket items I've ever offered. And the course took off. And so I also had people asking me if I could coach them on it. So I decided I would take everything, the book, the course, and the coaching, and make a special bundle offer. Interestingly enough, right before I was going to launch it, I ended up getting sick. So I only sent a single email out about it as an afterthought again and already had a sign up. And so what I've realized is that the things that we take for granted are often the things that people want the most, but we don't see it ourselves until someone else outside of our business or our life draws our attention to it. So if there's something that you look at in your life that helps you get results, but you take it for granted, maybe that's the seed of your next great discovery or product. How's that?
Bravo, Jim.
So we'll hit the easy button. We're going to save this. Stu's amazing story about his bundle offer.
Mhm.
All right. I'm going to fix this up a little bit. Myself, a former Navy SEAL who coaches okay, I want to tell inspirational tale, first person, do like 4. Hey, you know what? Let's go for it. So now we'll see how close we get. I mean, hell, I was pretty close on what we typed in up here. One of the things, or what we dictated, this might be something that you could throw into the rewrite, repurpose, recycle genie and have it write it for you. The other thing you could do, actually, since you have access to this, but you could throw this into the chapter writing genie from the Write Your Book Challenge, and it'll write this out really cool.
Oh,
It's
good idea.
the key here is to just capture your stuff.
Save that, Jim.
Yeah.
And no, I'm serious. I'm not only save it for me, but save it, and in genie hacking, we'll try that.
Okay.
If you unless you have something else to do, but just a thought.
We can do whatever. I mean, it's we can do whatever we want. But look at this. As a former Navy SEAL, I always believed the foundation of success lay in physical and strength endurance. It was easy to preach about grit, resilience, and overcoming the odds when I spent countless hours training my body and sharpening my skills. But as I transitioned into the realm of coaching, did you know you're transitioning, Stu?
Oh,
I
yeah.
began to discover something vital, something that was often overshadowed by the physical, the power of mental toughness. I realized that most people didn't just want to push their physical limits, they craved a mindset that would carry them through life's toughest challenge. This realization ignited a fire in me to craft a philosophy that intertwines both realms, leading me to write my book entitled, and obviously
Yeah,
we didn't give it the title of your book, so couldn't do it.
that's all right.
So I launched my book, overwhelmingly positive. Just I felt like it was fine. I hit a roadblock, a sudden health setback, forcing me to step back, regroup. The irony wasn't lost on me. Here I was teaching others the importance of resilience while grappling with my own challenges. Ooh, excuse me, Mr. Movie Trailer. Um, uh, since your resources developed, each inquiry pushed me a mission. As I emerged from a house of renewed sense of purpose, I realized journey, blah, blah, blah. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I mean, that's,
Nah, I like
it's
that.
in there.
I like that.
It'll create a short version, some clickbait hooks, bunch of other stuff. As a
What's
former
the
net, what's
moral hooks?
the moral hooks? As a former Navy SEAL, defying the odds, how a Navy SEAL discovered the secret weapon for lifelong success. That's a good hook. From burpees to breakthroughs, the unconventional truth about mental toughness. That's a
Oh,
really those are good titles.
that's an eye opener there. Yeah.
The overlooked power of mental fortitude. Why your toughest battles aren't physical. Holy crap, Stu.
Damn.
You're going to be up there on stage doing it.
I like
Beyond
that.
grit, the life-altering mindset shift that could transform your journey. Beyond grit, never
Damn.
quit. Oh,
Cool.
dude, beyond grit, never quit. The life-altering mindset shift that could transform your journey.
That's a
That's
great
good
title.
stuff. Stu's like, can you save this for me?
Yes, yes, I need all of this.
All right. Well, I
Like I said,
saved it.
this has been my focus this week,
Right.
is trying to play catch up on all of this, and you just pretty much read my mind.
All right. So the project we did, I'm sending you the share link and I'm sending you the thing that I downloaded. So
Incredible, Jim.
There you go.
You know, I was amazed by the wizards.
Uh-huh.
And then when the genies came, I was like, these are really cool too.
You know,
And then all of a sudden, wow, you integrated all this new technology in it, and they are just incredible.
there you go, Ann. That's what I typed in. Um, okay, so now that we did this, I want to have a Jim and Stu discussion, and y'all can be here for this or not. I want to, cool tool. You get it as part of copyingcontent.ai when you're a member. Just one of 70 different tools. They're amazing. Our stuff kicks the ass of anything else you're going to find on the internet as far as generative AI stuff. Heard reading some very interesting statistics that only about 5% of all generative AI companies are able to make a go of it right now, as much as ChatGPT is, empowering the individual consumer.
Mm.
Companies that are using AI to build their platform and all that other stuff, only about 5% of them are making it. And I think
You
the
mean
reason for
profitable?
just surviving, being
Oh, wow.
profitable, being a
Yeah.
real business. I think that I know the reason for that is because everybody's trying to have AI carry all the water.
Mm.
Just like we've talked about, where if you're having AI replace you, then you're screwed. And so with copying content, if you really look at what we're doing, copying content is a training company
Mm.
that includes AI tools that rock, but all of it is coming out of my noggin, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, it's all coming out of my brain. So if you like what comes out of my brain, great. If you don't, well, you're probably not a member. But that's the difference. That's why things are working. And if you really look at it, I mean, like Music GPT, I showed you Music GPT. I joined Music GPT. I'm going to cancel my membership to Music GPT. Why? They I made a song, great. So what? I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
they're not showing me how to
Uh.
they're not showing me how to use music to build my business. They're not showing me how to is that making sense? I'm
Oh,
not
no.
really saying it right, but it's who cares?
Well, the way I look
You,
at it, Jim, too, is remember when people were getting websites,
mm-hmm.
okay, and the .com boom was going nuts,
Yeah.
and all this money was being spent, and to get a website was big bucks, right? And then
Yeah,
it didn't
five,
make
ten
their
thousand
business any
bucks.
better. It didn't make their business any better,
Right,
right? Because no one showed them how to use it and make it an actual tool. It was just
right.
another thing out there in the universe.
And I think that that's what's going on here is that and for a while our sales were kind of flat because I was making copying content the brand, because everybody says, oh, when you got a software brand, it should be the thing, and you should be separate. You can't have a personality to go with it because then you can't sell it and
Mm.
all this other stuff. And I've seen a lot of people who had great businesses and then did that and then they destroyed their business because they pulled the personality, the attractive character out of it. And what I realized is that probably nobody's ever going to buy this, but except individual consumers who are buying us as a
Mhm.
team and what we do to train and then give them the tools to be able to accomplish the result. And I think that that's something that the other thing is, remember 2 years ago everybody said that prompt engineering was going to be the 300 to $400,000 a year thing. Nobody talks about prompt engineers anymore. It was all bullshit.
Yeah.
And all AI is doing is accelerating the shakeout of the BS. There's going to be fallback or fallout and stuff from it, because I've read another statistic that 65% of all venture capital right now is being poured into AI. Remember in 99, 2000, when 65% of all venture capital was being poured into .com stuff, and then what happened? The .com bust. Okay, so I think the AI bust is coming. It doesn't mean AI is going away or anything like that, but
No.
there's all the bullshit has to shake out of
Yes.
it.
Wasn't it Greenspan that said irrational exuberance? Remember that
I
saying?
think so. Yeah.
Greenspan said that? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
And
Fed chair.
so it's one of those things that we just need to be conscious of. If what we're doing isn't actually benefiting or creating value for other human beings, and going back to what started this discussion with Stu, of solving problems that people have, that they know they have, that they're willing to spend money to solve, it's a whole lot of mental masturbation going on. There'll be stuff that AI can do that people can't, but a lot of it's speed. But just because it's faster doesn't mean it's better. And a lot of times faster causes you to not take that deliberative approach to something to really see if it's better or any good at all, because of that initial dopamine hit of, oh my God, it did all this work for me that I didn't have to do. Yeah, but did it do good work? Did it do something that's valuable, something that's actually going to be helping, or are you just adding to another pile of noise? Anyway, just some other thoughts. And then I'm seeing these studies, like MIT published a study that is saying, in effect, that using ChatGPT makes you stupid.
Oh,
because you don't have to think anymore. And I think that's scary, because we need to be able to. It's kind of like this. When it comes to, say, sales copy, or when it comes to content, okay, when you read an article, you know whether that article is any good or not, right, Stu? Pretty much.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you know if that article is any good or not?
Well, it most likely it is just good English and punctuation and grammar.
Okay, at one level, that's a basic level. Computers
Basic
can
level.
analyze that. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same level, it's hitting something that I am interested in and want to learn more about. And or it could even be something I agree in that doubles down my own perception of a problem.
Right.
Or I
Confirmation
could
bias.
completely learn something new that it's just the opposite. I was like, I never thought of it that way.
Okay.
So
from the consumer standpoint, it gives you something valuable. It makes you think. It gives you it adds to your life, even in just a small
I am
way.
now smarter, is usually
Right.
what I say after reading something or
Okay.
hearing someone speak. I always whisper whoever's next to me, I'm like, I am now smarter.
Okay. So now put on your content article writer hat, the person who has written 1,000 articles over the years, more than thousands of articles and dozens of books. When you create something, or you see something that's created, how do you know if it's any good or not?
When I'm creating it? Is that what you're saying?
Put on your hat now. I'm Stu Smith, the writer. And you see an article, whether you wrote it or not.
Oh,
how do you know if it's any good or not?
It's usually answers a question about something that is a common problem.
But what other qualities does it have? It's well constructed, it's well thought out, it's valuable, it makes sense, it's concise. But in order for you to be able to judge, in order for you to be able to curate it, okay? You have to know what good looks like. You have to know what bad looks like. And you need to be able to have an opinion that is based on experience.
True.
Okay. And so if you don't have experience, if you don't know how to think, if you don't have on board enough data to be able to know whether something's good or not, you just have to assume what the computer gave you was good.
Yeah.
And that's real dangerous.
I would agree. You know where I recently had that come up was I was looking for, I was writing an article about a supplement.
Yeah, I'm listening.
a-
I've got to get a drink of water.
Yeah, and I was always, every time I write about a supplement, I always try to say what foods has this vitamin or nutrient in it also. Do I
Uh-huh.
need a pill version of it, or can I get it in regular food?
So you can't buy creatine berries?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, now there's gummies.
Yeah.
But creatine's in meats, and there's tons of it in meats, but it's not at the level that comes in a berry. You got to eat like 5 steaks to get the same type of level of
From the
creatine.
gummy.
But when I was searching that and trying to figure it out, you know how the Google has the AI version first. It has an AI mode. It came out with all these crazy numbers. I'm like, that's not right. There's no way that there's this much creatine in some salmon,
Right.
right? A pound of salmon or whatever. So, and sure enough, I go to actual websites and scientific studies, and find the actual numbers.
Right.
And so the AI version of that was way off, where um, the actual science behind it, corrected that for me. I've also heard stories about that, like where AI was making up um, legal cases to justify its argument or its answer to a argument. So
Yeah.
then,
But what you just did there was you demonstrated the ability to think,
yes,
the ability to make judgment calls, to take facts from here and here and here and put them together in a way that makes that makes sense, that's verified, that has a human touch to it. But what you've also done is done some mental push-ups. So if you want bigger arms, you got to do pushes and pulls. That's the only thing, and some curls. Okay.
sure,
Curls for the girls, tries for the guys. But I mean, it's sun's out, guns out, right? So
right,
the point though is that there's got to be resistance in order for there to be growth, or even to just sustain.
sure, yeah,
And mentally, if you are offloading everything to AI, you are setting yourself up to just be fat, dumb, and what was the thing from Animal House?
fat,
Fat,
dumb, and
stupid, and
stupid.
lazy is no
Yeah,
way to go through life, son. Dean Wormer.
mm,
You're setting yourself up for self-induced hell.
yeah,
And as people, the ability to think critically and to look at things with and trust your own opinion is going to be more important moving forward, because of the avalanche of BS that is already coming, and AI is able to tune it to each of us individually so that we can be manipulated and manipulated. It's at that level already, and it's only going to get worse. And if you can't listen to that internal voice and have the skills and the strength internally to say, hey, hang on a second, let me think about this for a minute, especially when you hear all these talking heads in any arena, whether it's in business or politics or the news or whatever. When as soon as you hear everybody saying the exact same words, you know that the fix is in.
yeah,
It's something's going on where they don't want you to think.
mm,
And I'm not ready to put the tinfoil in my, you can't see the tinfoil liner in my hat yet, but it's it's already here. And this coming from guys that make their money from AI now. but a lot of other stuff too, as
Yeah.
far as training and thinking and process. Best AI is part of a process that's being orchestrated by the human, and that human needs to be you. As soon as you've relinquished everything, all control to the computer, you're going to get dumb and you're going to get burned. That's
Yep.
just me, you know.
You are correct.
Plus, AI can't do push-ups for you,
Mhm.
can it?
I don't think it can, sir.
Do you want one of those exoskeletons? Have you seen those?
I mean, I have seen them.
Do you want one?
I have not even considered getting one.
Would you get a personal flying car if they came out?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. It just seems like it's another way of
To die?
yeah, definitely takes yeah, I trusting a machine 500 feet above the ground.
Oh,
Tough
hell
one.
no.
It's a
Yeah.
tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially
Would you
one
get
that
a
you're maintaining.
You've seen the way I treat my truck.
Should see my lawnmower. Man, that thing is put together with duct tape.
Would you get a jetpack?
Um, hmm. That might be fun. Maybe one of those water packs, that
Yeah.
keep you over the lake. Don't get you
Yeah.
up too high. That'd be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
I'd like to try one of those. Okay, what about would you get a brain implant?
No, I saw the first human get one of those the other day. It was in the news.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know.
I
It
wouldn't.
would depend on what's wrong with me.
Well, yeah, that
Yeah.
okay. Let me rephrase the question. And I'd be interested in y'all in the in the comments. Would you get an brain implant just to make you smarter?
I can't say I would.
Okay, and if certain people started getting brain implants and it made them smarter to the point that they had a massive competitive advantage
Mm,
economically, socially, culturally over other people, would you do it?
hmm. I don't know. There's got to be a quality of life thrown in there too.
And let
Yeah.
me ask you this, would you I mean the answer for me is F no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
I wouldn't.
Right there. It
Yeah.
don't matter. I mean I and if you could upload your consciousness, your
Ooh.
memory to a hard drive and live forever, would you do it?
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
No, because you'd
Yeah.
lose your soul if you did that.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah. I
lose the
wouldn't.
connection between your body and everything else. It just that's a you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
Yeah,
a long
it's
way from that, I think, but
I we're not a long way from stuff being stuffed in your brain to make you smarter and more efficient.
that is true.
Okay, let me ask you this. And I know I am going to say yes to this one. When they come out with the glasses that really have like a cool heads up display in them, and so you could, you know, I could have PowerPoint slides that you didn't see that were in front, like I could look over here and kind of see my notes as I was talking. Would you wear glasses like that, dude, in a minute?
That would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Because I think those will be here soon if they aren't already. I saw a TED talk where a guy had those and it was pretty cool. I don't
Mm.
want the AI talking to me
Mm-mm.
like, it's oh, that is a chipmunk. It's 2.3 years old. And it's like, no, I don't need all that crap analyzing every single thing that I do. But I can see some of these cool things that are AI driven like that I think would be pretty neat. Would you ever trust a self-driving car?
I have friends who've been in them
Yeah.
already. There's some cities that allow it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would. Not right now.
Okay.
I would rather not.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I think Michelle makes a good point. She says We only use a small part of our brain capacity, so why not just expand our own? I like that. And Dave said, my dad's heart was run by an implanted machine the last 2 years of his life. So yeah, I think stuff like that's cool. It's when your body is, in my mind, your body's different than your brain, your mind, your consciousness, your ability to maintain agency over your thoughts and other stuff like that. Because I mean, this is where we're gonna separate the real followers from the people who are gonna be like, well, I like Jim, but he's kind of out there, man. But if you got something implanted in your brain, just think about this for a second, okay? This device right here, 15 years ago, was unheard of. You mean they had cell phones and stuff, but this device right here, now everybody's got one, and there is nothing on the face of the planet that influences your behavior, your ideas, your beliefs, your economic behavior, your sense of security, insecurity, and everything else. This is the single most impactful device ever in the history of humanity on a massive scale.
Yep.
It is capable of inducing thought, action, and other stuff. Don't tell me if they implanted something in your brain that wouldn't be a way that they could implant ideas in your head.
Yeah, that's the next step.
So
definitely
don't be getting the chip, people. Don't get the chip.
Well, the way I look at it is, like for your heart and bones and muscles, that's a machine.
Yes.
And then up here, you're talking about the CPU,
the mind and the soul connection,
right?
and all that other stuff. Yeah.
That I don't want to mess with.
Yeah. 100%. I know this took kind of a weird turn. I don't care. It was fun. I like having these discussions. I wish you lived nearer to me, Stu. We could get together for coffee every once in a while.
I know. I would enjoy that.
Talk about stuff. So there you go. All right. Well, that's all I got. That's probably enough. Lost a few subscribers, but maybe I'll get on like the X-Files blog or podcast from this, like, hey, he's one of us. So Nancy, do you have anything to add? No, she's in the background. She's like, yeah, don't get me involved in this. We're good. All right. So those of you who are members of copyingcontent.ai, in about 10 minutes, we will be jumping on for genie hacking. Stu is hacking what we want. What did you want to do with what we did again? Remind me.
You just wanted to put it in other genies.
Oh yeah.
Put it in the chapter genie. Put it in.
We'll put it in the chapter genie and see what's
other things like that, and just show what kind of difference we can play around with it.
What kind of stuff it can do.
Yeah,
sounds good. All right, cool.
Repurpose genie.
Sounds good. All right. So we'll see you on genie hacking. And if you're not a member of copyingcontent.ai yet, you should be, because it will save something for you. All right. See y'all. Bye.
Thank you.